Motorsport 411 presents
all the four- and two-wheeled action.
Motorsport 411 with Sean Cardovillis.
Welcome to Motorsport 411, your home for all your four- and two-wheel action in Africa. Coming up in this episode, we are broadcasting from Nanyuki, where the Nanyuki Rally was held over the weekend. So much drama from the Nanyuki Rally. We'll break down everything that happened in just a moment.
All the four- and two-wheeled action. Motorsport 411.
Welcome to the episode. So the Nanyuki Rally was held on Saturday, with Raaji Bharij initially being declared the victor after winning all 6 stages. He was followed by Karan Patel and Hamza Anwar, but both Bharij and Anwar were later disqualified for being adjudged to missing a time control, and that was between the Service Park and Parc Ferme. So Karan Patel was then declared the winner, followed by Jasmeet Chana and Piers Dakin, a total of 11 finishers in the event. Let's get the latest and speak to Raaji Bharij, who was navigated by Ravi Soni. Hi Raaji, how was the Nanyuki Rally for you?
Hi Sean, how are you? Thanks for this. For our first event, it went very seamlessly. The team was fantastic. The car was excellent. Our approach was to learn, and we definitely learned a lot, especially on what this car can do and changes that we need to make to our pace notes because of that. So overall, very successful in terms of what we were trying to achieve.
You had great pace, actually winning all the stages.
Yeah, that was unexpected. It was a lot of fun to do that. So the pace was there, and we slowly through the day found more pace. So it was a nice surprise to win all the stages. It wasn't the goal. We didn't go out in the morning wanting to do that or aiming to do that, but it was a welcome surprise.
You won the rally, but you were then disqualified on technical grounds. So what happened?
Yeah. So just so you know, we're appealing the decision. We obviously respect the stewards and the organizers, but we feel that we've been treated unjustly on this one. So Ravi would probably put it a lot better than I, but essentially what happened was, having finished all the competitive stages, we went into the last service. There's just a 10-minute service. Literally, we were washing the car and then you put it into Parc Ferme. Ravi rightly pointed out that there was no indicated route to get to Parc Ferme. And it was also unclear as to whether it was one control board that you went through out of service and into Parc Ferme immediately. Parc Ferme was on the opposite side, so Ravi was trying to be careful and rechecked with the service park manager as to what they want us to do. And being first car on the road, there was at that point it really wasn't clear. The service park manager directed us to go in a particular direction and straight into Parc Ferme, which we did. Having done that, Ravi then ensured to get our card signed, so we thought everything was fine, but it transpired about an hour later, I think, once all the cars started coming in, that the organizers felt that we had to have gone out of service park outboard and then gone around the service park and then into Parc Ferme. So there's rules, but there's also, how they say there's laws, but there's also the spirit of the law. If you want to look at it completely in black and white, we understand what the organizers are saying to us. However, we sought instruction. We followed that instruction, which is also part of the NCRs. You're supposed to follow a marshal's instruction. So we think that it's a bit overboard what has happened to us. And we're appealing the decision, and we hope that it'll be overturned and that we get the win back.
This was actually going to be your first Kenya National Rally Championship win.
Yes, it was. That's... one of the reasons we're appealing is, we're not trying to win this in a boardroom. We won it on the stages. If I was 4th overall, and I'm the last person to then, if I didn't do it on pace, I don't want the win. But we did this on pace. So we feel that we are justified in trying to ensure that we keep the win. It would be very motivational to the team as well, to Minty Motorsport and Karicho Gold, and Motul and the rest of everybody that's involved and sacrifices their time to be part of this. It would be a shame to lose this win on our first outing. So, it was a first time for Ravi and I, first time in the R5, first rally with Minty. We were first on road, we won all the stages. So it's sort of it's one that I don't want to let go without really looking into every avenue.
Nonetheless, a brilliant performance. This must have really boosted your confidence.
Yeah, very good. Obviously, this rally until the end was giving us a lot of confidence. There's a lot to learn, Sean. There's absolutely a lot to learn. By no means are we where we need to be with the car. The car really surprised me, especially over the rough and the jumps and just the ability to push it more. My notes didn't allow us to actually show the full potential of the car, and also I need to learn it. But by the end of the rally, I really wanted Mombasa to start immediately, because there's a lot more that we can do. So I'm feeling very confident. We're looking forward to Mombasa. Work has already started. In fact, the crew within 12 hours had already started work on the car for Mombasa. So we're very eager to start Mombasa.
Raaji, just on a lighter note, we've seen one or two drivers give their cars names, most famously Karan Patel. From your point of view, you've got a beautiful car now, and of course you're always on social media praising it. Have you given your car a name?
I haven't given her a name yet, but I'm definitely building a relationship with her for sure. She's fantastic. We did give her a big thanks at the end of this event, and a good wash to say thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Raaji, for speaking to us, and of course, all the best in the forthcoming Mombasa Rally.
Thank you. I'd also like to encourage anybody that's got their car. There was a good entry in Nanyuki, and a quick shout out also to the organizers of the route in Nanyuki. The route was beautiful. Looking forward to being back there next year. And a big shout out to anybody that can come out to Mombasa. I know all the Mombasa crews will be there, but if we could get everybody that did Nanyuki to also come to Mombasa, it would be a fantastic entry, and that'll be good for the sport.
So that's Raaji Bharij. We'll be back.
All the 4 and 2-wheeled action.
Motorsport 411.
Welcome back. So as we mentioned, Raaji Bharij and Hamza Anwar were disqualified from the Nanyuki Rally, and that resulted in Karan Patel being declared the victor, followed by Jasmeet Chana, Piers Dakin, Carl Tundo and Ian Duncan wrapping up the top 5. Let's speak to Karan Patel and get the latest from him. Karan, how was the rally for you?
Yeah, for us, it's not the way we would have liked to win. I feel very bad for Raaji and Hamza, who have been disqualified. But in all honesty, the way you've asked, it does aid our fight to be KNRC champions this year. And I don't think Raaji and Hamza are fighting for the same. So for us, it's just a matter of finishing ahead of Jasmeet, and I'm sure he knows that. He's trying to finish ahead of us too. So it's a good competition between the two of us. But not the way we'd like to win.
You've been through this. We remember your disqualification during the Safari Rally. The pain of it. Do you feel for your fellow drivers? What happened on Saturday at the rally?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I was hoping Raaji was here. I would have given him my trophy, but seems he's disappeared. So maybe I'll get hold of him later and give it to him, because I think he deserves it. Feel for them. Feel for Hamza too. Would have been his first podium and Raaji's first win. So, it was taken away from them, from right under their feet. But it's tough lessons to learn in this sport, and we've had our fair share.
It could be argued rules are rules. Would you agree with that?
To some extent, yes. The rules are rules. If they've been penalized according to some sort of guideline and they didn't abide by those guidelines, then yes. I wouldn't say they deserve it, but if there's grounds for them to be penalized and it's been done, then there's certainly something written somewhere to say that they shouldn't have done what they did. So it's just a tough lesson for them to learn.
From your point of view, your eyes are firmly on the 2022 Kenya National Rally Championship. It was a huge boost. What happened on Saturday at the Nanyuki Rally?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a huge boost. It's we're still in the same place. Me and Chana, it's a competition between Chana and ourselves. So we're just a little bit ahead than we were before the rally.
you've elected to use the Group N car for the Kenya National Rally Championship. Your reasoning?
Just, Jasmeet's driving the Group N car, we'll drive the Group N car unless we see it fit to drive the R5, but it's just a bit costly to run, so we choose to run the cheaper car, relatively speaking, and she's a good car, she's reliable, she deserves to be taken out once in a while, so KNRC is the place to do it.
Finally, for you, you're fighting on two fronts, the Africa Rally Championship and the Kenya National Rally Championship. What's next for you?
Nothing next, to be honest. We'll see what where we want to go with this, and budget depending and sponsors depending. But we do have plans for international rallies. We just have to wait and see how it pans out.
All right, maybe you can elaborate a bit further. You've got the Betika sponsorship. How far does that extend for?
No, that just extends to the next two ARC rallies. We've only got the Betika sponsorship for ARC events, to be honest, and we'll have to see who's ready to support us after that. But it's taking a toll on my dad and the family, and it's just it's a financial burden, to be honest. And then it only gets more and more expensive, so we have to cut it off somewhere, some point.
All right, and for you with the Africa Rally Championship, you're not giving up the fight. You've got Leroy Gomez, who's got a mathematical advantage over you, but it's not over until it's over.
Yeah, correct. It's not over till it's over. So we have to just show up and drive our best.
All right. As always, thank you so much for your support. We really appreciate you speaking to us on Motorsport 411.
Asante sana.
So that's Karan Patel, who not only won the Nanyuki Rally, but also leads the Kenya National Rally Championship.
Motorsport 411.
Let's speak to Jasmeet Chana, who finished second in the event. He's navigated by Raaji Chana. Jasmeet, how was the event for you?
Yes, it's unfortunate that we had two drivers disqualified, and again unfortunate in the same rally, Nanyuki. But I guess the rules had to be applied. It happened to us last year. I think it's a way we just have to look forward and move on. Yes, we are pleased with the second place again. We now fall back behind Karan a few points, but we'll still fight.
How was the rally for you personally, the route and the organization?
Nanyuki always has amazing super roads. This time we just made our notes a bit quicker, and it paid off. I think the only thing that slowed us down is the second loop, the long stage, the 40k stage. We had a bit of a confusion when we had our GPS track beeping that there's someone trying to overtake, and we actually stopped and there was no one. And I think from what I hear, a couple of people got that problem. So basically, no other issues.
It always has been tough for you. You've got a Group N car and, fighting against people with superior equipment. Yeah. For you, how long do you think you can keep up that fight with so many people buying newer cars? We see Piero now investing in an R5. For you, how long do you think you can keep trying to squeeze out your Group N car?
Well, I think I haven't driven this car 100%. So it would not be advisable for me to go into an R5 just immediately. I think this year is the only year I've pushed this car to its limits. Hopefully by the end of the year we should know which direction we're going.
Just finally, you've seen what's happening with the protests and everything else. They're saying that possibly, it might not be in the route book. I don't want to go too much into this in the road book. From your point of view, what's your take on it without going too much into details?
Well, okay. There are two ways of looking at it, Sean. We follow the road book. It's very obvious. When you come into a service, you need to go out of a service. And I don't know. The other thing is, if it's not written clearly, what we have been taught is if there's no one at the control, you stop, you wait, and you ask for an official. After that, I have no other idea what happens. But those are the two basic things we were taught, that if you don't find a controller, even in the stage, you cannot go back the reverse direction. You keep moving forward at a transport pace. Yeah.
All right, Al, thanks very much. The Iceman, Jasmeet Chana, as always, thank you very much for speaking to us on Motorsport 411.
Santa Sana, Sean.
That's Jasmeet Chana, who finished second in the event. We'll be back.
All the 4 and 2-wheeled action.
Motorsport 411.
So welcome back. Now, one of the interesting stories from the Nanyuki Rally was the navigator for Carl Tundo. He's called Sam Taylor. Taylor actually runs an NGO and a charity called for Rangers, and they raise money for rangers across Africa. The rangers are, of course, the people that man conservancies and national parks and also game reserves across the continent. Let's get the latest from Taylor. Sam, how was it for you? This is the first time that you've ever navigated in a rally. How was the experience?
It was awesome. Luckily, with one of the best drivers this country's ever produced, so that was pretty lucky. And lucky was helped out a lot by his co-driver Tim, who's pretty talented and showed me what to do. I think I probably made it quite hard for Flash at times, but luckily he's a good enough driver that he could pull through that.
You scaled Mount Everest. We've spoken about it on my radio shows. An absolute hero for this country as well. How did this idea come about?
Well, the driving?
Driving and navigating.
Oh, the drive. Well, Flash has been a long-term supporter of Rangers since we very started. He was the first and biggest supporter when we first started. We did the Marathon des Sables. He sponsored us and put a lot of money towards that. He's a very close friend. And I randomly got a phone call 4 days ago where he said, do you want to be my co-driver in the Nanyuki Rally? And I live on the Loll Tigers, so it was pretty awesome. Yeah, so I just said, yep, I'll have a crack. But yeah, luckily, and then Tim stepped in and came up and showed me how to follow all the notes, which I did very badly, but it was a lot of fun.
How was the recce before the rally?
The recce was chaos. Yeah, we went about 3 k's an hour because I had no idea what to call, when to call, and I was getting ahead of myself. And I thought today would be the same, but luckily it was a bit easier actually when he went a bit faster. Yeah.
So how did it work out when he's driving flat out and you having to call the notes?
It was pretty good. He was talking back to me, so he was telling me when I was going too fast, or telling me to speed up if I needed to. And he was laughing quite a lot at me when I was completely in the wrong place and helping me catch up to where I should be. But yeah, pretty chaotic, but a lot of fun. Yeah.
I guess it would have helped that he knows this route, because this was a similar route to last year.
Yeah, I'm sure he's being very gracious. I think he probably did a lot of it drive by sight, but he let me yap away in his ear anyway, which was a lot of fun.
This must have been a bucket list for you in terms of things to do in your life.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a lot of fun. It was terrifying. I find going fast, I famously get mocked for how slow I drive. I normally sit in a Land Cruiser and go very slowly to places. Rallying is not really in my blood, so it was flipping exciting and cool to be able to take part in a proper rally with a very, very, very talented driver. So that was very cool.
Now, you're a founder of For Rangers. It's a charity, an NGO that raises money for rangers around Africa. Just tell us more about that.
So yeah, it's a charity I set up 5 years ago. We've raised about $4 million for rangers across Africa. We support about 3,000 rangers, looking after their welfare, predominantly kit and equipment, but we do life and health insurance for now 3,500 rangers in 62 protected areas across 11 African countries. The point is, I work with wildlife. My background is in conservation, and these are the guys on the front line who are out there day and night, and I think very few people understand how difficult a job that is. So we want to raise awareness and make sure that they're looked after as well. So that's a really important thing for me, and it's been great being able to do expeditions to provide a bit of a platform to tell their story. And yeah, it's a lot of fun, but it's also, the serious point is, yeah, we need people to understand that these guys are, you know, the thin green line protecting our wilderness that's vanishing very quickly. Yeah.
Now, your most famous expedition, if I can put it that way, is scaling Mount Everest and reaching the top of Mount Everest. But you've done a number of what they call extreme expeditions. Can you tell us about some of those?
So I've climbed Mount Manaslu, which is the 8th highest peak in the world. It was probably slightly more difficult than Everest in some respects. Slightly less climbed mountain. We've done ultra marathons, so 250 kilometer marathons across the Sahara Desert, 250 kilometer run across the Amazon rainforest in South America. We currently have an ultra marathon that's set up that goes across Laikipia, so it goes from Lewa all the way to Olpejito. It's a beautiful marathon. It's about to take place next month. And we've also had a lot of people from all over the world taking part in all sorts of crazy adventures. So part of it's just getting people out there and doing fun stuff and cool stuff. We've got some guys who are driving a tuk-tuk the length of Africa at the moment, which is wonderful. There's some really cool stuff going on, and it all helps to tell the story. It raises a bit of cash, but also it's cool to get young people out and about and doing fun stuff, not sitting in front of a phone or in an office, if that makes sense. Yeah.
I was going to say you've done all these expeditions, but there is a seriousness behind it all.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the whole point is this awareness and this platform that we can tell a story. People get interested in the expeditions, but ultimately it allows us to explain that, there are well over 100 rangers killed in the line of service every year, protecting our wildlife. There's been more rangers killed in the same period in as British servicemen in Afghanistan and Iraq. It's a really untold story, and these guys are really doing everything they can to look after our wilderness, and it's a pretty thankless job. So it's amazing that they get on with it, and so we need to get behind them, and we need people to understand how difficult it is and what they do.
Just finally, the Nanyuki Rally, it goes across probably some of the most spectacular scenery we can get. From your point of view, in terms of the environment and everything, any concerns in terms of rallying across these environments?
With the rallying, no. I've seen them. It seems to be run incredibly responsibly. There seems to be a sweeping team picking up any rubbish behind all the checkpoints. It's on roads. It's pretty low impact, and I think it's wonderful to see. And now we're sort of halfway between Nanyuki and Olonaishu, where most of the rally was. At the final stage, and there's hundreds of kids outside the car at the moment having a look. It's really exciting, and it's a really fun thing to bring. I mean, gosh, it's pretty grim times in the world at the moment, so it's quite nice for some fun, light-hearted events and people getting out and about in some amazing, beautiful places, as you say.
Thank you so much, Sam Taylor, for speaking to us on Motorsport 411.
Thanks a lot, Sean. Good to see you.
That's the navigator for Carl Tundo, the first time that he's ever navigated a rally, Sam Taylor. We'll be back.
Motorsports 411 with Sean Cardovillis.
So that's it for the show this week from Nanyuki. This coming Sunday is the National Autocross Championship that will be held at Bathian View. Our thanks once again to Raaji Bharij, Karan Patel, Jasmeet Chana, and also Sam Taylor. Our thanks as always to Big City Studio. I'm Sean Cardovillis. See you next week.